This is Andi Purewal for Boxing Social in association with Betfred, and I'm delighted to be joined by trainer Max McCracken here at the Wasserman boxing offices in London. Max, how are you?
I'm okay, Andy, how are you?
I'm good, thank you, mate. It's been a while since we last saw each other, never mind caught up, so how are things going in the gym?
Yeah, good, everything's going well. Sol's got a date October the 9th in Liverpool on the Smith-Fowler bill, so he's working towards that, and Matt Harris is on October the 2nd on the Wasserman and Sky show.
Let's just start off with Matt Harris, as we are here at the Wasserman boxing offices. Firstly, just talk to me about your link-up and what should people expect to see from Matt, and what's exciting for you to see from what you've seen in training from him?
I think he's a special talent, I do. I mean, I've known him for a few years now. I first met him about 10 years ago at his grandmother's funeral. So he was a kid then, he wasn't even in boxing then. And then a few years later, he started boxing, so I've known him for about 3 years. And there's something about him, I think he's a special talent. He's 21, he's in a great division, the heavyweight division. He's 6'8", he's skillful, can punch, he's got charisma, he's exciting, I think he's going to be a real threat in the heavyweight division. But like we said when we done the deal with Wasserman, we've got to develop him and take our time with him. He's 21 years of age, so, there's no rush with him.
You've mentioned there's no rush with him. What is the initial plan then? How do you see the next 12 to 18 months playing out for him?
Well, the first year he's got probably 5 fights. And these would just be learning fights, just getting him used to go to boxing in front of arenas. I mean, he had less than 10 amateur fights. He's come from social clubs onto this big stage, so we're just going to get him used to it, and just build him and develop him slowly. There's going to be no big rushing with him. Wasserman are on board with the idea as well. So we'll just take our time and develop him. And I think when he's finished, 3-4 years' time, he'll be a world-class heavyweight.
Obviously, as you mentioned as well, you got Dacres, who's getting ready for his bout with Sokolowski. We had a brief chat there off camera. A terrific step up in only his third fight. Sokolowski, his record deceives. He's a very game come forwards fighter who will be a tough test for anybody in their third fight. So why do you feel like it's the right challenge for Sol?
I just think with Sol, the level he's been boxing at as an amateur. He's boxed at world level. And I just think someone like Sokolowski, although he hasn't faced them as a pro. He's fought these tough Eastern Europeans and these Russians and all that, So, it's progression as well. With Sol, he wants to move quick. He's like 26, 27. So these kind of fights are little steps up. But, if he, like you say, if he's not on it, this kid's a big threat. Sol knows he's a dangerous opponent. But for his third fight, these are the sort of fights that, Sol thinks he's going to move on from and improve.
I mean, if Sol's victorious come October 9th, I imagine there'll be a lot of expectation to see him moved quickly. Is that the plan?
Yeah, well, by quickly, I mean, maybe next year you'll be looking at some kind of a title. But we're not looking past Sokolowski. He's a dangerous opponent. Sol has to be switched on for every second of that fight, and he has to be on it, which he will be, So, but yeah, after this one, I suppose they'll be thinking of titles, matchroom, maybe next year. The way things are now, kids do get moved a little bit quicker.
Now, of course, Max, some big heavyweight fights coming up. I just want to get your thoughts on. Start off with next weekend. Anthony Joshua, trained by your brother Rob, getting ready for that Oleksandr Usyk outing. Just get your thoughts on it. What are you expecting from that bout?
It's a tricky fight, Usyk. He's class, isn't he? I think he's got that performance in him where he, as an heavyweight, he hasn't really shown it yet, but I think he could do in this fight. But, he's prepared for that. Joshua is, he'll be on it, and I think I can see a late stoppage. I can see him catching up with him. And stopping him. He punches, he's got fast hands, Josh, punching combinations. And, he's got tremendous power. I think it'll be a late stoppage for Josh.
For AJ, how important is it that he doesn't allow Oleksandr Usyk settle into a rhythm in those first 3 or 4 rounds and to start to build momentum?
Yeah, he's got to stamp his authority early, and let him know who he's in with. He's not going to be out-fiddled. He'll be competitive. I think once he starts finding his range and landing regular, I think Usyk won't have felt power like it.
And then, of course, 2 weeks after that, we see Purewal, which is also on October 9th, just over in America. Again, what's your take on that bout? Do you expect us to see anything different this time around?
Well, it's the fight like a lot of people that didn't really want to see this one. It was like Joshua and Fury. Everyone's looking forward to it, aren't they? But I think, he's got his number, hasn't he? Fury's got his number. I think he'll just do another good job on him again.
Max, we'll leave that there now. I'll leave you to enjoy the rest of your day. I appreciate your time as always. Best of luck with your upcoming fights with the guys, and thanks for speaking to Boxing Social.
Cheers, and all the best, mate.